Hi, it's Meredith. Today is Monday, December 8th, 2014, and um, I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to make a video. I don't have anything on the agenda per se, so it's probably just going to be me rambling. But that's always fun. I have been researching this whole surgery thing hardcore since last Monday, so a week ago today. And I don't know. I woke up this morning with a headache, and every time I thought about the surgery, it just made the headache worse. So I really didn't want to think too much about it today. The headache was not related to the surgery. I think it's withdrawals from uh, sugar and carbohydrates. Because yesterday and then today, I've had goals of like taking vitamins and eating mainly protein, staying clear of most like breads and stuff like that, and not so much sugar. I know my body feels happiest and healthiest when I eliminate white flour and white sugar. Um, so, just in preparing myself spiritually for whatever change is taking place, I want God to be first. I want Him to be the one that I desire. I knew that I didn't want to wait until a surgery date or whatever. I'm not even sure if that's something that's going to happen. I know I want it to, but at this point, I don't want to have made a decision. I really want to be careful and patient and slow about pursuing God. I don't want to make a snap judgment. And, but I felt, I don't know, dishonest about, like, hey, I want to get serious about making these healthy changes in my life while still, like, going through the drive-thru and getting a burger or just binging on whatever I wanted, whatever I felt like that day. I felt like that wasn't very, I don't know where to look. I don't know where to look if this is my face or the camera, whatever. I'm just gonna be weird. Anyway, so I think I said this in my other video, but I'll say it again. I don't want to, if June is when I'm going to have this surgery, I don't want to wait until June to start working on the psychological, the spiritual, the emotional, or anything emotional, psychological, physical, spiritual. I don't want to wait until June for those things and like, oh, the surgery is what made me switch. No, I really want the heart change to begin now, really. So my goal today was to take my vitamins, to focus on proteins, fruits, and vegetables, and to only have like one true bread product. And so far, so good. Let's see, it's 5:45, and I woke up at 6, so almost 12 hours of keeping that. I've got some chicken sausage cooking. I started tracking things on MyFitnessPal, not for the calories, just to start tracking, what am I eating? I know that nighttime is the worst time for me. I come home and I binge. Yesterday I was doing my homework for Idle Lies, still on the chapter 2, lesson 2 homework, and it's really trying to dig into what do you love most, who do you love most, who do you trust most, who do you fear most, and it went right back to affirmation approval. The most stress that I feel um, comes from worry over others' opinions of me. Sorry, my mom keeps texting me. Which is a bummer because I really thought that I had gotten over a lot of the affirmation approval business in my life. So I don't eat to feel the approval of others. Like, I always think that's so counterintuitive because if I really care about the opinions of others way too much. That's some fuzzy right there. But I always thought, but if I really truly cared about them, then I would make sure that my appearance was always great, wouldn't be super obese. Here's what I think it is. I really am still praying for a biblical counselor to start meeting with me regularly to walk through these things. But I think a lot of it is when I stress over what people are thinking about me or what I think they're thinking about me, and I feel like I don't get their approval, I look to something else for comfort. And, always it's food, and sometimes it's food plus X, whatever else. And food is the biggest one. And I have other things to tackle in my life. This is not just the one thing that's wrong. There are other things. Speaking of things that are wrong, idols in my heart, I am, talking through this weekend, I realized that as I start working through all of these things, new heart idols are probably going to come up. I think about the things that God has released me from. Negative self-talk was such a huge one, and He's freed me from that. I still struggle with it, but He definitely has freed me from it. And when I still struggle with it, I go to Him. And my hope is that these idols, in relation to why I eat so much, will diminish too. And I don't anticipate that they will go away entirely. The negative self-talk has not gone away entirely, but it is greatly diminished, even to the point where it's so noticeable when it comes up, and it comes up very rarely, which is just praise the Lord. But I was listening to a sermon yesterday where he was talking about Paul and how he begged God 3 times to take away his thorn in the flesh, and God didn't. And so Paul's attitude about it now was that in his weakness, Christ's strength would be more seen, more evident. And I think my hope is that it would go away entirely, but I don't think that's going to happen. My hope is that it will greatly diminish, and, I'll still need to depend on God. And in its place, though, new idols will probably crop up, and, our hearts are idol-making factories. And, as I was talking through this and thinking about, okay, if all these changes occur, I anticipate that it would be very easy for me to be addicted again to others' opinions of me. I had a major weight loss before, and it's very easy to get addicted to what others say about you. You're looking great. This is fantastic. Oh, look at how much weight you've lost. You look so good. And when you don't hear them Because it would be odd if people continually came up and praised you all the time. But that's kind of what I wanted, I think. And when it didn't happen, when a photo on Facebook wouldn't get as much likes, when I didn't get as many compliments about a new outfit as I thought I should, or whatever, it really made me feel like, what's wrong with me? I was really craving the approval of others. Which reminds me of a verse in Galatians. I wish I had my Bible right here. It's Galatians 1:10. It says, "For am I now seeking the approval of God or man?" And that's the first part of it, and I don't remember the second part of it. But that verse often reminds me that, okay, whose approval am I really seeking to gain? Anyway, so I anticipate that new heart idols will crop up, and that I need to be ready for those as well. I'm never going to be completely independent from God, and which sounds weird to say as a Christian. It's like, well, of course you never want to be independent from God, but independence is it's such a value of our American culture. I know it is. I'm not sure about other cultures, but we value independence here in America, and I don't just mean independence as a nation. Anybody who's seen as codependent or relying on something is seen as weak. We train our children to be grown up, to be responsible, independent adults. And I think I just got my mind wrapped around eventually I'm going to be independent and I won't be so weak in this area. But, God didn't take away Paul's thorn in the flesh because God wanted him to continue to rely on him. I mean, imagine if we got to the point where we didn't need to rely on God anymore. Why would we need him then? I know to a non-Christian that sounds bizarre, but we're humans, and who has known the mind of the Lord, and who has been his counselor? Who has been his counsel? We are not God. We cannot comprehend everything that he is. And I know some of the things that he does just do not make sense to us. But I have faith that he knows what's best for me. I have seen him change my life. I know he's real because I talk with him and pursue him and love him. I wrote some more in my little VSG journal, made some pages for pros and cons, made some pages for, heart changes, soul changes, strength changes, and mind changes that I anticipate. Questions like, will this be glorifying? Will this make me more like Jesus? Will this further God's kingdom? Will it put him first in my life? I think this will still be backwards, although I don't know. I'm still trying to fiddle with it. But this is my biggest fear, is that I will fail. In reflecting on why I'm afraid of failure, it's because I don't want to fail again. And I'm hoping that my heart will change to be, I don't want to put this in front of God anymore. That would be a failure. I would fail if he was not my greatest desire in all of this. Because even if I lose all the weight, even if I turn my eating habits around, even if I become healthy, I will fail at this if he is not first in my life. And then I made pages for new idols, old idols, and how they'll manifest themselves. I know I can't ever hope to anticipate everything, but I think there is wisdom in trying to go through as much as I can. So I don't know. I kind of want to call my mom tonight, talk through some things with her. I want to make sure my parents know I'm serious and I'm not just bringing this up as something weird. Something I'm not serious about, I guess. And I don't know. I'll probably end up watching a couple of VSG videos again, but I don't want this to become an idol. I really want this to be this thoughtfully prayed out. I want this to be a godly decision. So, anywho's, that's all for now. So, bye.